This is my current sketchbook. I've been working in it for over a year and I'm kinda over it. I'm ready to start fresh in a new sketchbook, so I'm gonna finish this one in a week. Let me see how many pages I have left. Okay, 24 spreads, which is 48 pages, which is basically 7 pages a day. So sit back, relax, grab a fun drink and your sketchbook, and let's fill these pages together. I'm not too worried about what I'm gonna draw in here because I've been having a lot of ideas recently. So I feel like this is actually like the perfect week to start drawing a bunch. I've been a little bit out of my sketchbook practice recently, and I've been trying to like not be so precious about my sketchbook. I feel like in the past, this challenge would have stressed me out a lot because I would have thought as making 7 sketchbook pages a day as making 7 full complete finished paintings a day. And I'm not really thinking of it like that anymore. I'm actually really excited because this is the perfect time to experiment with my ideas and plan out paintings that I might want to make. I just have a lot going on up here right now, so it'll be nice to get it all out on paper. Then I won't have to think about it and I can kind of clarify my ideas a little bit. So I use the Midori blank page notebook, and I think it's technically a notebook and not a sketchbook. It's meant for like writing or dry materials, but I put whatever I want in here. I paint in here, I collage and glue stuff. So the pages get a little wrinkly, but I don't really mind. This sketchbook has the perfect dimensions for me. I like how it's a little bit more square than like a moleskin sketchbook, and I also love a soft cover. It has like a kind of cardstock paper cover, and the pages are cream, which I always love. It's just easier on the eyes. Okay, it's the next day. It's a Wednesday. You saw me do a little bit of this. Here's my finished Ritz cracker container. And then I also drew my planner. This is what it actually looks like. I'm obsessed with this planner. And then my last drawing from yesterday was this crazy looking self-portrait. I've tried daily drawing challenges before, but this one seems the most successful yet, and I think it's because I have a clear objective, like by the end of this I'm going to have my sketchbook finished. And I also really like having a page count to reach each day because before, when I've tried drawing in my sketchbook daily, I don't give myself a number, and if I do, that number doesn't really mean anything because I'm not working towards like a bigger end goal. And doing 7 pages a day, the first few pages is like easy. I feel like I already have some ideas, and then once I hit like page 4, I'm like, oh man, what else am I gonna do? But then I just have to force myself to push past that, which is kind of a great feeling, and I feel like that's how you end up with some cool art. It's the next day, today's Friday, and it's super like cozy and rainy right now. These past 2 days, I have not reached my goal of 7 pages, so I kind of have a lot to make up today. I have an extra 5 pages. I'm gonna say an extra 6 because I decided to make this one a double page spread. I guess I have 13 pages to do today. We'll see if that happens. This is the last drawing that I did. This was just done in the classroom. One of my students had leftover paint and I just used it. It's like really cheap acrylic or tempera. I kind of like the effect that it gave. Like it came out super textured. Then in the classroom, there's another teacher that's doing projects of like, I think it's paper mache and it's like big vases. I think they're so cute. I used this. This is an art crayon. I also did this during class. There's just a little radio at the desk and this pencil sharpener, which is like super cute and vintage. This is the start of what's in my bag. This one, I think you saw me start it. I've just been having lots of ideas of patterned cards. So that's what I was doing here. You saw the self-portrait. There's just, I don't know, kind of a random page. Okay, now you're all caught up. Let's get started. I love clipping the pages down. Might be time to switch to the big clip. Just makes it so much easier. This day I was feeling so inspired. Maybe it's because I love the thunderstorms. It just creates the perfect cozy environment in my studio. But I experimented with lots of different techniques and I feel like my ideas kept building off of each other, which is always the best. And I've been super into patterns, especially in textiles. So I did some paper weaving, and I've also been extra obsessed with plaid lately, so you'll be seeing lots of plaid from me. I feel like teaching art to kids has really helped spark my creativity. We work with a lot of materials that I don't typically reach for in my own studio practice, and using these different supplies always feels so good, especially with the younger kids. For them, it's all about playing around, lots of cutting and texture experiments, and those are like my favorite things. So I just have so much fun. Kids have such a natural tendency to try things out and push the materials in new ways, and I found that really rubs off on me too, and it just helps me loosen up instead of focusing on the final outcome. Because as you'll see throughout the week, I don't always love the way that my drawings turn out, and that's okay. This is just my sketchbook. It's all about experimenting and practicing, seeing what works and what doesn't. During this week, I really allowed myself to just move on when I didn't like something instead of painting over it or tweaking it to make things better, and that's helped take the pressure off of making perfect art in my sketchbook. At first, before I started this sketchbook challenge, I thought I'd be doing a lot of plein air stuff, sketching at the park, going to cafes or museums, but instead every day I just hunkered down in my studio and got to work. It was a nice approach because it forced me to carve out alone time every day of uninterrupted art time. Of course, it's always fun to take my sketchbook out on the go. I love doing that, but it definitely results in different drawings. Usually they're more observational, whereas I feel like I was able to think and plan a lot for future projects, and it's just been making me feel extra motivated and excited to keep making art. Also, isn't this little jewelry box that I'm drawing so cute? My mom brought it back from Germany. She went there when she was a teenager, and inside it has all of these vintage pins and little trinkets, and I just think they're all so cute. Then I had some painting left over from when I did the little car collage negative space thing, and I decided to cut it all up and arrange it on the page, and I really like how it came out. So then I decided to draw it, but I think it's so fun to cut up a pattern and make a new pattern out of it. I just want to keep doing this. Okay, I didn't record yesterday, and I only did 2 sketchbook pages, but I realized that I miscalculated before. Math has never been my strong suit. I don't know, I think I said I had like 13 pages to make up or just do. I don't know. But basically I was wrong, and I am right on track. So I just have 2 more days left. Yesterday I did 1 spread that I like and 1 spread that I don't like and I gave up on, but it's okay. Sometimes you can just give up. This is the one I like. I've just been really into patterns recently, and I've always been into cars, so I thought, why not combine them? Then I tried another thing, and this one, the colors were just not working. And yeah, I give up on this. It just started to be frustrating and not fun. Now let's do 7 more pages. So this is when I started to get really into these patterned cars. These are all ideas for a larger project that I have in mind, and every day when I sat down to work in my sketchbook, I was like, man, I wish I could just start that project. But I knew that I wanted to finish my sketchbook first, so I decided to use this time and these sketchbook pages to work out mini versions of my ideas. Having this little template made it so easy to get started on every page. I've been drawing cars for a few years now, and it always feels like a subject where I just have endless ideas about different ways to approach drawing them. I feel like a lot of artists have a certain thing that they're drawn to and they feel this way about, and for me it's cars. I also have lots of stickers, and I've been trying to actually use my stickers and not be as precious about them. So I did a little sticker car, and I think that using stickers in your sketchbook or in some sort of composition is a really fast and easy way to get a collage feel without having to find a bunch of like references for collage. I've also been having so much fun creating different palettes and color combinations. A good palette can really make or break your painting. So getting to practice this in my sketchbook is super helpful, and I've been doing it a lot through patterns because it's flat and graphic and I don't have to be concerned with depth. By doing this, I've really realized the importance of value. I think the palettes that are the strongest, that I end up liking the most, have a nice range with a solid dark and light value. Today is my last day with my sketchbook. I'm gonna finish it. I still have to finish my last spread from yesterday, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, which is 8. But this last page is like kind of awkward, so I don't know if I'll actually fill it. So yeah, let's get to drawing and painting. So I actually did a little bit of sketchbooking while I was at work. I had started these at home and then the kids were painting, so I also did a little painting. Then I did some more painting. These I taped off. Then we did some collage stuff, so I just like the idea of cutting out a realistic tree in like the shape of a cartoon tree. I really liked this little kitchen. And then I also found these super cool decorated pictures. So now I only have 3 pages left. The last few sketchbook pages are almost as nerve-wracking as the first. It feels like they should be important, but by this point I'm also just ready to finish it, so I usually do these pages pretty fast. I thought this Louise Bourgeois quote was a nice addition, and then I had the idea to redraw flowers from the same reference photo that I used on my very first sketchbook page, and I love the way that this rounds out the book. This might actually be my new thing moving forward. I also felt kind of sentimental during these last few drawings, reminiscing on where I was when I started the sketchbook versus where I am now. I started this sketchbook during a big period of art block, and I remember that the first few drawings were really tough. I was so stiff. Since then, I've had some big life changes. I've moved across the country, adopted a cat and guinea pigs, and now I feel more confident in my art, and I'm just excited to make more. I did it. I finished my sketchbook yesterday and it feels kind of weird. I've been using this sketchbook for so long, but I really liked that challenge and I feel like it got me ready to start my new sketchbook. But let's take a look at all the drawings I did this week. Look at all these crinkly pages. So this was my first spread that you saw briefly. I'm actually really glad that I started the week off this way by just doing some quick sketches that are not very pretty, and they're just about putting my ideas down on paper, because I think it kind of set the tone going forward. Here's another one, more sketches, the Ritz crackers, my planner, the self-portrait. My first patterned car of the week. Here is what's in my bag. I don't think I ever showed you the finished version, but that was pretty fun to do. I love the way the pattern came out on the bagu. Here's my little in-class drawing. The cars, the paper weavings. This was really fun. The ducks. I like this part. And these were words that were in the bird book. Here's the jewelry box. I think that vintage objects just make such good reference for drawing. And then see, this came from this. This might be my favorite car that I did. I really like this part of the pattern where the patterns meet up but don't join. Ooh, my least favorite cars. These are actually patterns from couches. I've been wanting to draw these couch patterns for a really long time, and this was the perfect opportunity. Then when I painted this flower, I ended up really liking that as a color palette, so I did some swatches right there. I like this one a lot. This car feels very similar to these, so I like that. This page is like whatever, but it was a good experiment. I kind of want to keep trying stuff along these lines. Here are my collage pages. I honestly just looked up quotes to put in your sketchbook, which is kind of embarrassing, but it's a good quote. I like it. And then here's my final spread. And here's the first spread, that same plant. And I don't know, it just felt kind of right to end on a butterfly. So I left this weird page blank. This one is like a little bit thicker. That is my sketchbook. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me while I finished my sketchbook. Keep an eye out for a complete sketchbook tour, and I'll see you next time. Bye.